What's going on? How y'all doing today? The video gonna be about 30 for 30 ESPN Al Davis versus the NFL. Whew. Al Davis was a true maverick, and this cat, you know, people look at Jerry Jones or maybe Robert Kraft or Mark Cuban or the Bus family or any prominent successful family in these sports worlds. But Al Davis was a reality TV show before there was one. 40 years ago, the Raiders beat the Philadelphia Eagles, won the Super Bowl. The interesting thing when you go back in hindsight and in time is that he was taking on Pete Rozelle in the NFL. Now, people trip about how Roger Goodell has a frosty relationship with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, and when they were together in New England, etc. But this here, this was on a whole nother level. Now, the ironic thing is that you fast forward now and the Raiders are in Las Vegas. They're the Las Vegas Raiders. Oh, this is Al Davis dancing all over the ceiling like he was Lionel Richie. Because talk about getting your way. He moved the team to Los Angeles, but now they're in Vegas and NFL's gambling. This is like the Al Davis paradise going on. The Raiders won 2 Super Bowls in those 80s with Tom Flores as their head coach, who just finally got into the Football Hall of Fame. I don't know what took so long. Jim Plunkett won 2 rings. He ain't getting no love, though, but that's another story. She should get some recognition. But anyway, of course, with Marcus Allen, who ended up in Al Davis's doghouse, unfortunately. And that was sad because that's one of the greatest running backs ever. They also had Bo Jackson. They had an incredible situation. But Al Davis was a running maverick on the team. Had say, just win, baby, just win was his logo and his saying. And they were a very proud franchise under him. And the lasting impact of him is still felt. But there are no more of that kind of gunsling against the NFL owners. Even Jerry Jones kind of tried it. They don't. That the one thing is that the commissioners now, even though they kowtow and holding to the owners, there is no one person running the gun, running the Wild Wild West like there was. And Al Davis kind of had this Elvis Presley type of facade thing going a bit, Maybe Dean Martin, maybe it was one of those kind of, he was the type of doing his own thing. He was very flamboyant, but he wanted to win at all costs, owners. And his team was respond. They had that kind of attitude. That's when the Raiders were the bad boys of NFL and did what they did and made a name for it. But it was also just kind of like they were rebellious against what the NFL was about. Again, you don't see that no more. This is a pretty compelling special because it takes you back to that time. The trip out thing is seeing Pete Rozelle inside a conference room smoking a cigarette. You never see that no more. That was a different day and time for sure. But really, what has happened now with the ownership and the marketing, the game is even more, things have gone even more extreme with the games and everything. But it makes for compelling TV. That was when owners or people who were pretty lively. They really had a certain type of swag and an attitude. And he really took it to another level, the things that he did, Because to think about it, the Raiders were one of the more groundbreaking teams. I mean, Art Shell, who was a offensive lineman with the Raiders and a Hall of Famer and dominant, ended up becoming the first black African-American head coach of the Raiders later. Jim Plunkett, Native American, quarterbacking. Tom Flores, Mexican-American brother, won 2 chips. They did stuff that you just ain't seen. And then to take on the commissioner, I mean, that was like that was something else. So anyway, give me your thoughts and takes about Al Davis versus the NFL, the ESPN 30 for 30. The Raiders have been very compelling. They were definitely, not so much now, not in the Chucky Gruden era, not now. But back then, you go back in the day, they lived like they uniform. They were outlaws. They was bringing it on and off the field. Now, Davis was a maverick. He was not taking nothing from nothing. He was a wild card. And you don't see those kind of figures anymore in the ownership. Not like that no more. So anyway, give me your thoughts. It takes it to like and subscribe. I welcome thoughts and comments. I do respond. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for one another. And we always miss the days when people kind of stood out. Because sports was definitely a way of theatrics. And Al Davis understood that. He understood it. I'm out.